Hey, what's going on, guys? Good morning. Hey, freaking awesome to see everybody as I fumble through getting all of my cameras going. We're now live streaming on a whole bunch of different ways. So, just trying to get this all set up. But if you don't know me, I'm Donnie Boivin, CEO and founder of Success Champions Networking. And today we're going to really talk through the virtual coffee, that virtual one-on-one with somebody where you get that first initial get to know you type conversation, but how you actually turn this into real business and revenue opportunities. And here's the thing, most people only think about the original virtual coffee. You know, that one where you sit down and you're supposed to get to know them, they get to know you, and it's 30 minutes without any sort of takeaways, without any sort of opportunities, without anything really happening that gets business moving forward. So I broke this down into four different virtual coffees so you can really wrap your head around how do you find success in doing this. So the first virtual coffee, you need to start moving beyond the cutesy, let's get to know you type of thing and really work towards, you know, what is the outcome I want to have happen from this virtual coffee. So if you think about it, when you first sit down with somebody, we all kind of have to do this thing that is going to sound like something you shouldn't do, but we do it anyways. And you got to start putting people into boxes. And what I mean by that is you need to put people into categories so that you know what and how to do with them so you can better understand an outcome. So there's five kind of categories I think you can put people in. Rank 1 are people you never wanna be around again, right? It's people that you never want to interact with, have nothing to do with. Rank 2, this is kinda your general network. So this is people that, you have their business cards laying around, their contact information laying around, but they're not a lot of high value, there's nothing wrong with them, you can make introductions and things for them. Rank 3, this is your starting lineup, right? This is the people that are proactively making introductions for you, making referrals for you. They're bringing your name up. They are the ones that are really helping you grow your business. And then rank 4 is your untouchables. Your untouchables are the people that you're going to protect. So it's going to be people like your clients, your influencers, celebrities, people that would damn near take an act of God for people to get to, so that people will struggle to or people want to get to those people, but you're just going to protect them. And then rank 5 are people who could potentially be clients. Okay, so we rank them down to don't care, don't want to be around them, to the general network, your starting lineup, your best referral partners, or potentially your untouchables or your clients. And so when I'm having that first virtual coffee, that's what I'm thinking through is where would this person fall in the conversation? How do I get this person, to a place of where I need them to be to further this conversation out and get more in depth with them. So I'm thinking through, where can I best put this person? So I'm looking at things like how long have they been in business? Who do I think their client base is? Are they connected to? Do they have a network? Or is this somebody that could potentially, be interested and use my services? And I'm working through a series trying to put people into these different categories. Look, rank 1, the people you don't wanna be around, those are easy. Your general network, these are people that are more into a casual type conversation versus getting to some sort of outcome during the conversation, right? Your rank 3s, these are the people that within a few minutes of a conversation are already talking about, who they can introduce you to, who they can, get you connected to, and are really dialed into this game of networking. Rank 4, they're your untouchables, you know who those are. And then rank 5 are potential clients. So if you're thinking about who could say yes to you, who could buy your stuff, who could actually invest in your business, right? And so you go through a series of questions to understand where should I put these particular people, right? The outcome of the first virtual coffee should be making at least one introduction for them, right? Getting them connected to somebody. anybody. I don't care who it is, but get them connected to somebody. You'll be blown away by how simple and easy it is to get them connected to anybody because the overall thing you need to think about is when you get them connected to somebody, you automatically stay top of mind and you are then raise your value slash your worth to them, over time. So you really need to, think about who can I get them connected to, but don't overthink it. Connect them to one person. Right? Even doing that little move during the first virtual coffee is something that you won't believe how many people struggle with. They can't wrap their head around this idea of just introducing somebody to others. But look, I'm not saying give them a referral. I'm not saying try and get them a client. I'm saying connect them to somebody else who's out there networking and somebody else who is potentially looking for similar clientele as you or similar clientele as them. Get them connected to one person and watch what happens when you start opening doors. But here's the thing that I like to really think through. That's where most people are stop when they're doing a virtual coffee, when they're one-on-one with individuals, when they are, trying to figure out how to grow their business, is they're out networking and they're, meeting people virtually, doing these one-on-ones, and they're not getting any sort of outcome from it. They're not, literally getting any sort of connection. And so they're doing a lot of these one-on-ones, they're doing a lot of these get to know you conversations and they lead to absolutely nothing. So what I want you to think about is every virtual coffee, what is the outcome that you want to have happen from that virtual coffee beyond getting a client? That's, the kind of the dream goal if you're in business. For me, it's what do you actually want to get so you can have further conversations, okay? So I think that's where most people do is they leave all the conversation in that first virtual coffee when the money is actually found in coming back later, whether it's 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and doing the second virtual coffee with them. Because when you do a second virtual coffee, that's where the money actually is made. There's a bunch of studies out there that shows that 91% of people don't do any sort of follow-up whatsoever, meaning they are proactively doing all these networking, virtual coffees, and the likes, and nothing is coming from it. So they're meeting all these people, and then they never follow up, so they never land a deal. They never get anything. They never turn it into something. So what I want you to start doing from your virtual coffees is after you've ranked the people out, right? So you put them in sort of a category that 1 through 5. Now I want you to go back and start looking at the 2s and the 3s and going, okay, so the 2s are your general network, the 3s are the people who get networking, who are opening doors, who are connecting you to other people. I want you to go back to the 3s in particularly and schedule a second virtual coffee. Okay. I want you to get connected to them so that you can get into further conversations. And the things you need to do on the second virtual coffee, the things you need to get connected with is you need to find out if you made introductions, how those introductions go. Were they the right people to meet? Were the people that brought them value? Were they people that opened doors for them or potentially even became clients for them? You're following up on what you gave them, which means you need to keep a CRM or you need to keep some sort of spreadsheet, database, something that says, every that tracks every virtual coffee you did and what your next step was in that virtual coffee. And I'll tell you, if in the first virtual coffee, that one-on-one, if it's so good that I want to follow up and meet with the person again, I'm going to schedule it during the virtual coffee I'm having. Like, hey, this was an amazing conversation. Let's talk, the next 30, 60 days, and let's go ahead and schedule it now so we can follow up and check in on the activity that we were doing during the first one. So that second virtual coffee, it's all about really following up and diving into what was the outcome from the things that happened during the first virtual coffee. You will be amazed that during the second virtual coffee that with you. follow up with people, how often that turns into a revenue opportunity simply because you don't waste time in all the cutesy get to know you stuff. You actually go to business a hell of a lot faster and you get really, really, really dialed into the conversation overall. So it's pretty cool and it works really, really, really fantastic. So you've done the first virtual coffee, you've done the third. When I look for the third virtual coffee, I'm looking for people that have massive potential. Like, they've opened doors for me. They've dove into my world, had cool conversations. And there's real opportunity for us to continue to collaborate and continue to progress and move forward. So when I do the third virtual coffee with somebody, right? It's all about how can I collaborate with this individual. So what I look for is the people that in the second virtual coffee we got really dialed into what opportunities they had, what things worked well in their world, what things can continue to move forward. And now I want to think through how can we really dial this conversation into a lot more. So I'm thinking through, can we find some cool way to collaborate? Maybe we can do a workshop together, maybe we can host a podcast together or just a live conversation. Maybe we could pick particular events that we want to go to and talk to and network at. Maybe we want to collaborate on LinkedIn, maybe write an article together, maybe write a post together, or maybe we want to do, a TikTok or an Instagram, something together. And what I'm trying to figure out is how do we provide enough value for each other that this conversation and this relationship keeps blossoming and keeps evolving to a next level. And all through this, what I'm trying to figure out is how do I build this starting lineup of just amazing people that are invested in my business as much as I'm invested in their business. And it works really, really, really well. And then you got to think through for the fourth virtual coffee. Now, on the fourth virtual coffee, what I'm thinking for me is for me to have invested at this point 2 hours, because virtual coffees for me are a half hour each. For me to have invested 2 hours of time over a given period of time, like I need to know that there's a true ROI from that activity. So what I'm gonna do on that first or that fourth virtual coffee is I'm really gonna start looking at what's the overall uh uh you know ROI from it. What is the uh overall activity that's gonna come from it? What's the uh, ROI, what's the metric, what's the stats, what are the things that you can actually track from that particular activity. So, I want to know the outcomes of all the interactions and all the introductions. I want to know what's turned into business and actually created revenue for them and for you, right? I want to know all the things that have happened from you know the activities and the conversation. So what I constantly am looking at, the return on investment. Yeah, I agree with that. Right. So what I, you know, often find is the more that you are looking at these conversations as an overall return on what can you get from the activities, good things happen. So by the time I've gotten to the fourth virtual coffee, like, there have better been a revenue opportunity. What's up, Wobox? There have better been a real ROI from these activities. And I want to challenge you to think through how many virtual coffees have you done? And let's just say this year. Like, I know people do 1, 2 virtual coffees, one-on-ones a week, a month. I know some people are doing, uh, you know, 5 to 10 virtual coffees a week, right? What I want you to really think through is how many of those conversations, if you simply just went back through and analyzed all the conversations you've had with people, how many of those would actually be worth going to do a second, third, fourth, virtual coffee with? How much money have you left on the table because you haven't seen the conversations, or maybe you didn't follow up on the things that you should have followed up when? I promise you that if you'll go back and look at all the virtual coffees that you've done, and you simply just go, who should I follow up with? Just pull out your calendar, go one by one, and go, who should I follow up with? You're going to be absolutely blown away at the number of missed opportunities that are going to show up and happen for you. So, all I want you guys to understand is the first virtual coffee is just the start of a long-term relationship. It's gonna take the second, third, and fourth virtual coffees to really make this something awesome and amazing, and it'll help you really get dialed into where you're leaving money on the table. So, guys, if you got any value out of this, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click the follow button. If it makes sense, share this out to other people. I love teaching networking. I love helping people actually grow their businesses through networking. If that's a value for you, come hang out. I do this live every Monday at 8 a.m. Central. We'll be live here hanging out with you guys. So, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Go have awesome and amazing day. We'll talk soon, guys. Love you, mean it. See you. Bye.